When Women Speak and New Jersey Poetry Events presents
When People Speak, Poetry and Conversation with pop-up poetry guests.
Well, what we can use is another surprise from the words from the man himself. If he would like to go into another piece.
Yeah, sure. Well, I want to spin off of where Amira went when we first came in. Her piece was super strong, and it just made me so, the Malcolm X piece. And I'm very proud to be Black, and I want to address that, and I want to talk about being Black AF.
Do it.
So on this one, pardon me, I'm going to be a little blunt, but not blunt like these cigars that the weed smokers lick up and suck up in the front, because this one's really about Black love. So since you've been up front with me, I'm going to be up front with you. I want to be Black AF in everything that I effing do. Yeah. I want to be Black in the morning. Excuse me. Black when I wake up. I want a coffee cake, and in my coffee cup, I want something black and strong. I want an alarm set to wake up at the crack of dawn with the blackest song on. So black that I could just happen to rap along. And I'm glad that Nas Ultra Black just happened to be on. Going ultra black. Woo. I'm happy to be young, gifted, and Black. And as I mature, I'm probably going to be more Black than I was Black before that, because I'm Black and I'm sure. Black and I'm pure. I'm Black and I'm raw. And I'm so happy to be nappy and happy to be scrappy and loud that I had to say it loud, because I ain't ashamed now. Because like James Brown, I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm Black by myself and Black in the crowd. Actually, I prayed in a Black church, and I grew up in a Black town where everyone socially knew that being Black was supposed to be cool, even if me and my closest dudes didn't do what we were supposed to do, chose to act the fool in the halls of my all-Black public and parochial schools because we was opposed to the rules. And that Black principal made us sit our Black asses down. If you boys don't sit down, so we could learn what we needed to earn that Black cap and gown. I didn't go to a Black college, but I got a lot of Black knowledge from those Black scholars that I followed, though. I learned that we're spending way too much dough out of our Black wallets as far as Black dollars go, but y'all don't hear me, though. But I am going to make y'all a Black promise, though. If we don't play it right, we might all fall like Black dominoes, all right? I had a Black grandma who prayed hard to God till the graveyard, and a Black grandpa who slaved hard every day at his day job. Woo! But they taught us to have Black pride when we went outside to our Black community, Black love, Black family unity. Now that's being Black AF to me. Do you agree? Now, if you agree with me, then help me solve this mystery. What's the difference between Black facts, Black myths, and Black history? Well, let me see. Black facts always remain the same. Black myths can either be renamed or rearranged, but Black history still stings from the pain that a Black fact or a Black myth can't ever change. And I still want to be Black AF. Black is Jack, who rides on the back of my local garbage truck, but he stays blessed. His son's in college, his daughter's a well-known news reporter, and his other daughter just gave him a brand new granddaughter. Now, Jack was tired, so he retired, but Jack's paper was stacked up because he stashed his cash away. Now, Jack just gets to relax in the backyard of his pad in the cul-de-sac and just be Black all day. Now let that marinate. I want to be Black as the knight on a chessboard. Yes, Lord. I want to be able to move 2 blocks to the left and still take 3 steps forward. My chess players know what I'm talking about. And as a matter of Black, turn the sounds of Blackness on. You can win. Woo! And that's black optimism. Can't have our brains in chains locked in a prison, man. We got lots of decisions, and even if we ain't got a pot to piss. But one thing we do know for sure is we cannot anymore be the victims, because we'll kill that noise like the Fat Boys with that stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em. I want to shake the black hand of a black man who's a black cop and who has rather not forgot that he's black on a routine traffic stop. And if I have to see the judge, I won't hold a grudge if that ever happens, as long as I am judged for my actions and not my blackness in Manhattan. So I have to search for that black knowledge that the history books still haven't found. So I say peace to the kings, peace to the queens. Actually, some of y'all didn't even know y'all had this crown. Unapologetically black. And actually, I shouldn't have to be sorry for that. And as a matter of fact, can I curse? Oh, good. Fuck that. I'm black as fuck. I warned y'all from the front that this one was going to be a little effing blunt. And I'm glad that I didn't even have to use that word nigga once. Well, maybe that once. I'm black AF. And yes, the evolution will not be terrorized. I'm black as F. I'm black AF. I'm black as fuck. Fade to black.
Woo. That poem right there, that was the first poem I heard from you. And I was like, who in the world is this guy? No. Oh my goodness, man. Look, you're just blowing up the comments. Like,
yeah. From ghetto to greater, from ghetto to greater. Thank you. They got a lot of bombs blowing up here. Don Krypton, he plays a bunch of them.
Thank y'all.
Yeah. People have enjoyed that. One of their favorite pieces, Let's Go Mellow. Yeah, Shamello. A different level of humble. These are all of the comments in our Facebook live feed. And we are all blessed to have you. Yes.
Wow. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And thank everybody who's chiming in. That's greatly appreciated. Totally. You know, I'm not used to the spotlight because I've been hiding in shadows my whole career. You know, I've been a producer. I've always helped artists to kind of achieve or find their sweet spot. And fortunately, it's worked a couple of times. So, you know, being on the face front and if on this side of the camera, it is not a new animal to me, but it's a very interesting animal to me. And every time that people notice what I do, I humbly and graciously receive it because it's what fuels me and makes me want to keep going more and more and coming up with more surprises.
Shamello, we want to talk about something that's a little bit more current with your work. Can we get a look at that sweatshirt you're wearing right there, fella?
Yes.
Awesome. So let me read it to the audience. It's From Ghetto to Greater. You want to tell us a little bit about what that is?
So Ghetto to Greater is kind of like my memoir in the form of poetry. This is my first book. And I was able to really release a lot of emotional baggage that I had. I just wanted to tell people about my life for myself. I wanted to tell me about my life, and writing it out kind of unpacks a lot of that baggage. But I think and I speak in poetry. I've been rhyming and since I was, a child, and I've been an MCing since I knew what an MC was. So I chose to write the whole piece in the form of poetry. But one thing about my poetry is I'm a very conversational poet. Watching Slick Rick and watching some of these early pioneers, they told stories. So I kind of use my words to kind of be, tell stories and to keep the interest of myself and the listener at the same time. And it was a really interesting piece to write. I'm very nostalgic about my town. I'm from Hempstead, Long Island. So, I wanted to make sure that Hempstead really appreciated what I had to say about that community, because that's the community that really crafted what I ever ultimately became or will become, And that was ghetto that I grew up in, you know. And Hempstead, it's, you know, at the time that I went there, it was a predominantly Black community. So and that was a beautiful thing to me as a youth, because I got a chance to see the richness of our culture, the diversity of our culture, because there was all types of people from all walks of life, but they all looked like me, you know. And this was an experience I wanted to share. And then jumping into the world and going to college and working in the real world and creating entertainment magic and gaining notoriety and then losing notoriety. So I wanted people to know the journey, the roller coaster. And I wanted them to know the successes, and I wanted them to be aware of the pitfalls, you know. And I didn't try to sugarcoat those either, because roller coasters are fun, but they come with hills and valleys. And
yes, that's the truth. That's the truth.
I don't want to give you the fantasy. I don't want to give you the illusion. You know, I want to give you the truth, and that's what I, you know, strive to do on that particular project. And
so, I'm sorry, I'm just always talking. James, do you have the information to put out there for our audience to get Shamello's book?
Definitely. You can get his book at etsy.com/shop/ghetto to greater store. Not just his book. He's an entrepreneur. He has merchandise, shirts. You see, he has the hoodie on. He has a mask. So when you're going to your next event or you're going to see him live when a lot of shows open up, you can have your mask and you can support him at the same time as well. But
and also on this journey, you know, I decided to create my and make my merchandise myself, along with some talented people who are in my close circumference. So what we've been doing is also assisting other poets and other artists developing their swag lines too. So, you know, as I learned those skills, I said, let me pass that on to other artists, and not only showing them how to do it themselves, but also maybe possibly sometimes assisting them in creating and developing their brands, because we have to we have to nurture each other. We have to protect each other. We have to grow each other. We have to groom each other so that we can be the best versions of us that we can be. Agreed.
I think I'm going to hop on that hoodie or a t-shirt or something, because I want to have that from ghetto to greater emblem on my chest the next time I guess I go on Raymond's show. I definitely want one. So the information is there for you. Everybody out in the audience, please support the artist. Not only is it a worthy cause, you can see that the merchandise is absolutely amazing and worth every penny. It's top quality, professionally done. And yes, we have that mantra on our chest, and we stand united. And you know what happens with people who are united. Yes, support the artist. Thank you. So where to from here, James?
Well, I wanted to ask Shamello, I wanted to ask you, I'm reading your book, and one of the things that I like is you transition from thought to thought. And how I interpret it is your poems are the actual thought, and then the transitions from thought to thought are your prose or your commentary. And I wanted to know, like, what was the process? What was your process in creating your book From Ghetto to Greater?
Interesting. Well, you are absolutely right. Each piece in there was a different thought. So I wrote the pieces as they came to me, and I may write a portion today on this one, a portion today on that one, a portion tomorrow on that one, a portion next year on that one, because it actually took about 13 years. And it's a short book, but the thought process behind it took about 13 years, because I didn't really ramp up until like the last 3 years before it came out. And I would just be writing this collection of thoughts, and I didn't know what to do with them. So that's where the commentary came in as kind of like the glue to sew the thoughts together, because I wanted it to have a continuous flow so that people wouldn't be jarred by talking about, you know, a topic like abortion, and then all of a sudden the next topic is It could be, hanging out on the beach or something like that. So I didn't want to jar the audience. So I tied all the thoughts together for a smooth ride and a smooth transition, which is kind of what I try to do in my physical artistry at the same time. So I wanted it to kind of certain parts of the book to mimic what I do in person as well.
Mm-hmm,
I want to read something that gives an example of exactly what you're talking about. This is just an excerpt from it, but he goes, "I saw life through the bottom of a malt liquor bottle. I was what you would call a functional beeraholic. Liquor lunches, breakfasts, and dinners were so often the menu. As a result, I developed Bud wisdom. Please note that Bud does not make you wiser."
mm. Yes, that's Shamello. That's Shamello.
Bud
Yes.
wisdom is the idiotic thinking that 3 to 4 40s of Budweiser or malt liquor per day can bring. And I love it how you drop these like little tidbits of wisdom from your own experiences, from your own life. And also, what I love about it is definitely, and you mentioned definitely autobiographical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to know, what is the most memorable feedback you receive from readers thus far?
I really like when people get it, when they understand what I was trying to create. It's a memoir for me, but when people understand that I want them to enjoy my life, because my life is, it's a fun life. I've had a great time. I've had some pitfalls and but I wanted to make sure that it's upbeat. And when people understand that and people understand my humanism, and they convey that to me, it makes me feel good, because it's like they understand what the blueprint was, and it kind of validates and confirms what I want to do next by people understanding what this art is about. So, like talking to you, James, you get it, and these are the kind of things and the kind of feedback that really inspire me to continue doing what I'm doing. And especially even if you don't get it, this is not the answer to your question. The first part was the answer, but even if people don't get it, it's good, because it gives me means that I always have more work to do to get people to understand what the motivation is, what I'm trying to convey. And my thought pattern, I don't think that poetry is just, let's just talk about civil rights. Let's talk about this. I want to use my poetry to talk about everyday life. I remember when we were, when I was working with Public Enemy as an apprentice, one of the things they would say, that I heard from one of the producers, was like, all these artists are, now it's gangster culture and everybody's doing these gangster records. But we, even as gangsters, do you go home and hug your children? Yeah, you do. So being a gangster doesn't mean you're a gangster 24 hours a day. Yes, you are living a gangster existence 24 hours a day, but you hug your children. You love people, and these, I want people to know that all people are multidimensional. I have hot and I have cold too at the same time. I'll curse your ass out, but that doesn't happen often, because for the most part, I try to keep in a mellow existence. But we all are products of good and bad, and how we present them is our artistry, our human artistry.
Well, I was thinking as I was like paging through the book as well, that it as you transition through your life, you're dropping little jewels as to things that you faced, you were confronted with, you had to get past, that also gave people keys to overcoming some of the difficulties that they may have as well. And it was in such a pleasing manner that you were enveloped in the story. But then by midway through, you're like, wait a minute. Have I faced that? And look at how he met that challenge and he rose through it, or, he got through it. So can I. So again, it's that whole storytelling, pass that on to the youth, the people out there, help somebody, whether they relate to it, the way that you and James connected, that's a whole different thing. I could read, and I do read the same information, and I can walk away with a whole different perspective because I'm going to try to pull that into what am I faced with in life and try to reflect on that. And I love that about the easiness of you being so transparent with your life in your book. It's amazing. And again, here we go. Thank you. My gratitude.
Thank you. And when I said that people get it, what you just said exemplifies exactly what I was talking about. That was my answer right there. That people get that I'm putting this on display to help you, so you can put a mirror up to yourself. I'm just like you, and that's why I try not to go face front with some of the things that I've done, some of the accolades, because people it clouds people's vision.
Yeah, they do. They look at you differently when all you want them to do is see Shamello.
Exactly.
And any title that you have been gifted with, that's just a title. That's not really Shamello.
Absolutely.
Shamello the human. Yeah, I get it.
There's actually a piece in the book that deals. It's called Tidal Wave, and it deals with that. The fact that we hide behind titles from cradle to grave, but we can't let titles become tidal waves.
Absolutely. So this has been an amazing experience, this whole show tonight. And to top it off with your presentation and this conversation with you, is just going to be lasting way until the next show and beyond. And I appreciate it. And I hope our audience can pick up on some of this conversation and get it as well. Get the book, guys. Get the book. Lean into that and reflect on that and bring that into your own life experiences. Yes, thank you, Shamello.
And also, I didn't get a chance to say it, but the poets that you had on tonight were all awesome. The lineup was phenomenal. God bless both of you, and I wish nothing but success on when people speak and when women speak as well.
Thank you, Shamello.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Should we have you send us out with another one?
Hey, nothing too much to do. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, let me see where do I want to go here. Let me just get a little libation in me. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Pardon me. Just need a cup of joe. I'm in the mood for a cup of joe because I want to actually create some dialogue between me and you, like this interview. But I want to know your interview, and I'm going to tell you my interview too. Because I could take you to a higher place, higher than the fire escape, or I could smile right in your face and then try to fry your ass in the fireplace. See, in my environment, there's no time to waste, and everything has a time and a place, and everything takes time. So take the time to replace the memories of everything that time has erased from your mind, because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Now, my mind escapes to all kind of places. I've seen all shapes, sizes, and faces, changing faces, Maybelline and facelifts, enslaved by chains, rose gold and bracelets. Now, the thesis of my speeches teaches to each his own. Actually, we don't really preach this, but to reach and own, please, we need you, jeez. I don't want to have to sleep with a piece of chrome to have peace at home. So I continue to speak up for the speechless until my poems and my speech is gone. See, we all want a piece of the pie. And I want a piece of the deep dish for each of us, because historically and metaphorically, we never get enough. We always end up with just a piece of the pizza crust. So fam, I want you to understand, I'm here for you, and I'm thankful you're here for me. When I hear from you, you cheer for me cheerfully, and I cheer for you too. Actually, it's been years. How's your family? How's your career? What do you do? That's pretty dope. Oh, yeah? Oh, that's awesome, bro. Oh, me? I don't have any biological kids. I'm actually kind of like Uncle Mello to most of the kids in the world, Grand Mello, the Godfather to more than a few. How about you? What? Congratulations. Let me see the pics. Oh, that's awesome. Was that graduation that I missed? Wow, I'm so proud of you, man. Now, how are you and the missus? What she do? What's she into? She started a new business? Wow. And I wasn't even prepared for the next thing that I witnessed because he broke out in unexpected tears. He said, I lived out here with my mistress. He said he ain't seen his kids in about 4 years, and the child support was all in arrears. And those graduation pictures, they were so little and so cute. He said, yeah, they're old as hell. My kids are all out of middle school. He said he had the pictures and diplomas all over his living room with the city view. And oh yeah, by the way, that's where his mistress got caught cheating too. Whew. I think I bit off a little more than I was expecting to chew connecting with you. Now, did that get too deep for me? Nah. That's one of my best friends. And you got to know who's your friend. You got to be for them. Be there for them. Lose or win, beginning, the middle, the end, again and again and again and again. And at first I thought, what the heck? What a home wreck. Then I had to reflect. I almost forgot about how many problems I had of my own for a sec. Because we all need a shoulder to cry on. Someone to rely on when the cupboard is thin and when your lovers become the number one suspect in your infidelity investigation, interrogation, conversation. And here's some advice for myself to him. Fall out of love with your sin. Call out above for him. But I ain't here to preach to you or give a speech to you. Just two old friends catching up. It's good to see you, bro. Oh, yo, you want to go get that cup of Joe? So that's when me and him walked out and walked off. And the rest actually is none of y'all's business. Actually, why y'all all up in my conversation anyway? Listen, I think we're done here. I'm finished. But before I go, here's one thing I want you to know. Some think that they can't handle their gifts because the handle is broken. But remember, any man can plan to uplift if he gives with himself the spirit and uplifts with his hands open. Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to When People Speak, our feature for this evening, Shamello, Master King, Mr. Shamello Durant, and we are all happy having him on our platform. We are humbled in your existence. Thank you. Thank you for sharing our stage.
Thank you for having me. It was great. It was a pleasure, more than a pleasure.
You can follow him on Facebook by his name, Shamello Durant, and as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Shamello D. So definitely follow him and see what he's up to. And once again, you can purchase his books and all his products at etsy.com/shop/ghetto to greater store. So please support
Absolutely.
artists.
Love the brand, Ghetto to Greater. Love the brand. Thank you. Okay, Jamesy, what we gonna do now?
Well, I think we gave him a mouthful.
Gave him a show. That's what we came for. We came to showcase our artists. So I think we did that. We were successful tonight with that presentation. Everybody was on fire. Thank you all. Yes, looking forward to you all coming back again and gracing our stage when people speak. Yes.
Yeah, so as they say, you ain't gotta go, but you gotta get out of here. Thank you for this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And check us next month, the last Tuesday of the month, always at 7 p.m. Once again, live on Facebook. And we'll definitely post up later, probably Sunday, definitely Sunday. I'll have the first episode of this particular show loaded up so you can go back and watch it. But once again, you can follow my co-host Amira on
When Women Speak. When Women Speak. Next show is what is this? This is October, November 11th, I think it is. Anyway, you'll see the advertisements on Facebook. But this is the close of our show. James and I are happy that you spent your dinner hour with us. We hope you have learned something. We hope that you were entertained. We hope that the poets left you speechless, breathless, and all of that, and filled your hearts and your minds with useful information. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Until the next show.